Hi, thanks for clicking to watch the review of the Gookyo door closer. I installed this already on a door here, and when I was looking to do this, I couldn't find any good tutorials on YouTube, so I just wanted to make this. I actually bought two of these, and I already installed one. So I wanted to explain how it's installed. It's actually pretty simple, and also some of the quirks that I noted. So it comes in this is a really small box. It's probably even smaller than it looks on camera right here. And when you get it, so you open it up, it comes with, this is the main unit here. This unit here is already spring loaded in it, and comes out of here. It's got this arrow. It's pretty foolproof. So I'm gonna show you. See how it's already on here? So you put it on there. There's a spring already loaded up in it. And what you want to do is, whatever direction you want it to close your door for you, you want the arrow to be pointing that way. So this door here, you open it like this, and this thing pushes it. By the way, it's not closing all the way, but it's because I could have made it tighter, and I'll show you how you move it. But I just wanted this to gently close the door because we have little kids in the house, and I don't want it to like slam shut and for kids' fingers to get stuck in there. I could have made this thing like wound so tight that it would actually force it closed. So don't get the wrong impression here. But so anyway, the arrow should be facing, so this door closes here on the left side, right? See, it's gonna push it close like this. So the arrow should be pointing that way to the left. If your door goes the other way, you literally just flip this over, and you would stick it on the other side with the arrow pointing to the right. But again, this door, I wanted to push it the other way, so you can see here. So I put it like that. So then the next thing is this comes with some screws, and you'll see reviews on Amazon, and they mentioned too that the screws are pretty weak sauce. On camera it looks stronger than it is. These are very flimsy. So what I did is I just had other better screws in the house. If you have like a set of generic screws, I just, in terms of putting this into the well, actually, these are longer screws, so they went through like the decorative part of this and into the wall a little bit, or actually technically into the wood in the frame. But yeah, I just used stronger, better screws that went in a little deeper. But it's very, you literally I just took a screwdriver and screwed them in. You could get all fancy with this. Depending on the wall you're putting in, I guess did this come with it? Nah, you could, I guess, if you had to, put like plastic things for the screw to go into. I literally just screwed this into the wood. So once you put it on, you can see it's almost ready. As soon as you have it screwed in, you're almost done already. But that's also kind of where the question mark comes with this. So the next thing you need to do is, there's this bar here, this metal thing. This is what is, the tension is from the spring in here, and it's going, this is going to push it. This is the receptacle, this plastic thing. You can see how there's like a scratch line here. The reason this is scratched is, originally I thought that the screws to use with this were also going to be cheap like this, so I didn't use them. But then because I used screws that were like this, that stood up, this bar scratched those ones and ended up dragging it back and forth. Then I realized that you should use this only for this, for installing this, the screws that come in with it. It's kind of hard to find them, but they're specifically flat. The head on them is specifically, oh, here, that's it. Here it is. See that one there? It's flat. The other ones have like a bulbous top, but there's two. You're gonna look in this little pack here, the plastic one. These ones have a flat head, and those ones, they're flimsy, but those are the ones that need to go with this. The reason is, see how there's an indent in there? Those flatter screws will go into this concavity so that this will be more or less flat. So when this bar is moving back and forth, See, this one's already scratched up because I was doing tests with it, but this won't scratch as much. The truth, even if you use them, I noticed that even after I put them in, it's not as bad, but it's still getting scratched up, despite the fact that these are the appropriate ones, and I've screwed them in deep enough that this shouldn't be really touching them too much, but it's enough. Like this, it's just this over time, it's gonna touch it, and it's still hitting the Phillips Plus thing as it goes through. But yeah, it's whatever. It's good enough. I don't care. So that's what it looks like overall. So the way this works is there's tension in here. So you can see how there's this is filled in with a white thing here. When you first get it, you'll see there's nothing in those holes. Once you've positioned it correctly, they give you, again in this, see these white caps? These are just cosmetic. When you're done, whenever the holes you're not using, you put those cosmetic caps into whatever the holes are that you don't have the main post bar in. So for example, you could have, you wind it up, you stick it in here. This just screws in gently. You screw it in like this. So you screw it in. And that's how easy that goes in. And then the cosmetic ones, they don't even have a ridge. You just push them in there. That just so that way it doesn't look like a hole. You have it filled in. So the next question is, well, how do you actually get the tension on this? Because it's not readily apparent, right? So this might be a little tricky since I'm filming this one hand and doing this another. But essentially the way this works is when you don't have these in here, when you don't have these in here, you put this in and you turn it. Now, it doesn't come with two of these white ones. What it comes with to do that task is it gives you this this short one. So what you want to do is first you're going to use this in whatever the first hole is. You're going to put this in this hole. And then, let me see, can I just pull this out my finger? It's not coming out. So what you got to do is, I'll show you with the other one. So what you want to do is, this shorter one, you want to put in whatever the one close to the door is here. So likewise, this thing screws into it, right? See how it's in there? There you go. See? It's in there. Once you have it like this, what you want to do is you're going to take this. How am I going to do this? Hold on one second. If I put it like this. I'm trying to get the camera right so we can do this. This is not, it's because there's tension in this thing, right? Hold on a second. Let's go. Oh, here you go. This is the way to do it. So there's tension in it, right? So what you want to do is to wind up the tension, you're going to use this. It's hard to do it flat. You push it like this. See how hard it is? It's already hard for me to push it back. So as you push this back, you're going to get more and more tension. And as you do that, this hole is going to come around. So as you push it around, you're going to expose the next hole. That hole will be exposed. And then in this one is where you're then going to put this. So it's going to look kind of weird when you get it going. It's going to end up looking like this at one point. So you're going to be using this to bring this around. I'll try to hold it like this. See this? See how this brings it around? Now this isn't screwed into the wall, so that this thing itself is kind of moving with it. But that's essentially how it works. Pushing this here is what's going to bring this around. And it's hard. It's going to give you, even just going one hole's worth around is going to get you a ton of tension. And that's all I have it on currently. So when I have it up here, it already has enough tension to force this shut. And you can see if I take this and let it go, that's how much tension there is. And all I did was I took that stubby and pulled it over once, screwed this one in here, and it already had that, that much tension from this to smack it like that. And you can see why if you have little kids, and the main thing is just to like get the door kind of closed, you wouldn't want to make it even tighter, because this thing it'll whip. Like this door, you'll see, this is only on the first one. That's pretty good. So I settled with this because I didn't want this door to necessarily close so much as I just wanted it to be shut, more just to keep it shut, both to prevent the draft and just visually just didn't want to see it open all the time. Maybe later on, if don't have to worry, the kids are bigger and I don't have to worry about little kids getting their fingers stuck in the door or whatever, I could take the stubby. Again, it's easy to pop out those cosmetic things, by the way. I'm just holding my phone to film this and don't have any way to pop it out with one finger. But so maybe someday, like if I took out this, what I would do if I want to make it tighter is I would take out this plastic thing, I'd screw this in, then I'd use it to yank this over here, and then that would pull. If I pull this over here in the middle, look, you're gonna see. Now, I put the plastic thing in that also cosmetically, but see, you're exposing another hole. So, like, if I want to make this stronger now, I could already pull this over like this, and then instead of having this white long one in the hole it's currently in, it could be in this one instead. And that would be, essentially, every hole, you're getting, like, twice as much tension. Honestly, even with this, it's really strong. I mean, I would never go more than this second hole. If there were no kids in the house, I would just do the second hole. I'd do one more because it would just close the door a lot stronger. But anyway, it's good enough. Perfect is the enemy of good. So hopefully this is helpful to anyone who wishes to visualize what the way to install this and how it looks when it's done is. It's really, really simple. There's no assembly on this unit. All you gotta do is screw it in, use this stubby thing to pull the initial holes over here to get the tension. Then when using I'm using my right hand to put the stubby one in, then you go like this, pull it over. The next hole that appears, coming around, rotating around, is the one you want to put the white bar in. And then that just simply rests in this thing. One thing you'll want to do is, before you install this, figure out where you want this to be. The biggest mistake you can make in this doesn't really have anything to do with this unit. The biggest way you could screw this up is if you don't think at all, and you say, in my case, right, this is indented in here because it's like a design. If you weren't thinking and rushing, and for example, if I installed this here, right, if it was down here, this bar, maybe this bar would come over here, but then this receptacle thing, it would be like, if I tried to install this here, obviously it's not going to work, right? I can install it here, but then there would be nothing behind this. So if you have a door that has any cosmetic stuff or indentations, it's still fine. You can still use this, but what you got to really be careful of in that case is just before you start bolting this to the side of the door, make sure this is really what you have to think about first. So in this door here, I could have done it anywhere where there's a uniform flat surface. So I just put this up here just because I kind of just psychologically, that's where I want it. But I could have done this. Could have done this here, right? I mean, I could install it here and have come across to here. That would have been fine. Or all the way down here. Could have done, right? I could have done it here too, right? Come across here, big flat area, there's no problem. Or I could have gone even all the way down there. Just take a look at your door. Make sure that this thing is not going to wind up with half of it on the door and half of it like in an indent. And then you're going to have to unscrew all this. You have a bunch of holes, that you then have to use, plastic wood or something to fill it up. By the way, you'll see some other holes here. This actually is from a different door closer I tried. That was like one of those industrial type ones. And it didn't work. It didn't fit this frame here. And I got 3 holes in and I realized, nope, that's not the solution. And then I waited a few months and actually I was still, my wife was complaining. that this door is a problem, which she was correct about. And I was like, all right, I gotta figure this out. And so this ended up being the solution because it's very small, it's powerful. You don't have to put it up top, right? Because those industrial ones, they have like a whole thing here and a whole big thing here and a big arm that goes all the way over. And visually they're not that great. They're bigger. And this is just such a small, compact thing, and it really gives you adequate force. You could use this on, this is on a very simple residential door. And obviously, this is a very generic door. Anybody would have no problem with this solution. But if you had a heavier door and you wound this up more, and you went the next hole, it would still be adequate. And also, still, if you're looking for a simpler solution than one of the overhead ones, like the one that didn't work for me, you could do 2 of these. You see how small this is, and there are, I could have one here, and I have the extra one. I can install another one here and have that here. If this door was heavy, I could have, these things are only, $15-20. Buy 2 of them. Install one here. I install one at the top, and I could install the other one I have at the bottom, for example. Wind them both at the exact same hole, right? I could wind this one up and get it even higher tension right here, and I could also do the same thing at the bottom. This thing would really, even I'd probably be afraid to walk through it. This thing would smack me in the bum on the way to close, but it's a good solution. I highly recommend it, and it's once you get it in your hands and you feel it out, it doesn't nearly have the hurdle of installation that these up top ones do. And a industrial type one is overkill for most residential, simple wooden doors like this. So there's no reason anyone would even need to go that route unless you had some incredibly unique situation. This thing's enough. So hopefully this helps, especially if you're considering buying this and you're on the fence. Is it too cheap? Is it actually really complicated? What does it look like? So it's a little hard to wrap your head around the whole thing and putting these in, but once you get it, hopefully this video explained it well enough visually. You put it in there, pull it over the side, and then this thing will come over and you install this in it. But even if the video wasn't good enough, if you buy this, you'll get a feel for it and you'll be okay. This is not something that is going to blow your mind in terms of difficulty. This is on the easy side of home stuff. By the way, it comes with quote unquote instructions. See, you can tell I'm not lefty. So spring door closer. Yeah, so it has instructions. I don't really feel like these are adequate instructions, although the image is somewhat helpful. Definitely would say there's a reason they say do not overtension the closer. You could also hurt yourself if you overtension it, and it's you lose it and it smacks on your fingers. That would not be fun. But you put in this thing, right? The tensor thing, and you just to increase tension, repeat the operation one hole at a time. And you just pull, one whole time, meaning you install the dummy, pull it over the side, and then you could stick in the white one, the long white one. If you still need more tension, you could go on the other side of the white one like this, and then pull it around even more. But it's probably overkill to have to do it that much. So this is my review of the Gookyo door closer. And hopefully this is really helpful. Take it easy, everybody. If you like this video, if it was, well, I don't know if it was entertaining, but if it was enlightening, feel free to subscribe or leave a comment. If you bought one of these as well, or if you have any questions, I'll answer them as they can.